Well, hello handsome, what's your face like? Welcome to the show, my name's Thew, and today we wave a fond farewell to 2022. Cause it's top 10 time, baby! Ain't it always about this time in January? Yes, we're vibing, yes we live, what more could we give? So 2022 was an eventful year, actually eventful and not sarcastically. Didn't get as much done on the channel as I wanted to, but I never do. Maybe one day I'll learn the level that I operate on and be okay with it, but I don't think so. So what I tried to do in 2022, I knew it was going to be a busy one. I attempted to keep a spreadsheet of the collection as it went along in the year, and that idea didn't even last till February. But it was mostly legacy, wasn't it? Come on. Because it didn't seem like there was much else cracking off. Like, the Movieverse side seemed pretty quiet, or at least it didn't put out much stuff that I was interested in. Rise of the Beast, we're still waiting. Earthspark, we're still waiting. But Legacy's been really good. They pushed it super hard, and it's laser focused to appeal to someone like me. So that's what I've been doing. But I didn't want this countdown video to just be 10 instances of, oh, it's the same as an old guy, but it's new now, so it's good. Like, there's always going to be a layer of that. It's Transformers, right? It's a thing from the 80s. That's how it operates. We know this, but I'd like to go some other places, please. So like Goldberg, Crankcase, appreciate you, love what you've done, but we got enough stories like that. So I'm gonna try and take this in some other directions. And separate caveat, because there was a lot of stuff and I'd like to do some shout outs, I'm gonna do 10 positions rather than 10 robots. So it's gonna be more like a top 19, 20, but in 10 clumps of related things, right? One final thing before we dive in, might as well do the giveaway winner, seeing as I've got you. So warmest congrats to David Ritchie, the first winner of 2023, who has claimed APC Toys Night Countess. Please do take care of that spiddly lass. I'm sure she'll do the same for you. Nice one, Dave. Get cobwebbed. Okay, number 10. At number 10, the might and majesty and green power of Moon Studios Green Zone. So long-time viewers may be familiar with my Suican story. I don't want to really recount it again. Basically, my dad's mate was in Japan for a bit when I was a kid, and he came back with some train bots, gave one to my brother and gave one to me, and mine was the green guy, and I loved it, and it freaked me out. I just wanted to start jumping around. And this is the new version of that. Hey, look, we're doing the thing I said I wouldn't do. But yes, Suican has always been very special to me. Oh God. So nice, this thing. So it's lovely to first of all have a new one. We know there's a masterpiece coming. I don't know if I like the look of it. It's a little scraggly. This is a nice, clean, tall, heavy, dense, die-cast lad who looks great and fulfills a very deep need for me. He's like a tower. Got a little Autobot badge spot ready. Let me just get the lad. Come on. There we go. There's the original lad. Just such a basic and pure design. A little square robot man who turns into a little square train. And Moon Studios have done a banging job making him enormous and impressive. Just the fact that a toy exists that's this big and this handsome, and it's friggin' Suican. What? But he is a pain in the ass to transform, I gotta tell you. Because it's mostly pretty manageable, like the arms go up and around and diddly-do, but there's such a level of that annoying third-party insistence on overcomplication. I talk about this a lot because it does bug me to death. Like this, right? The little arm flaps here, they have these tiny fold-out panels, and it's literally that. It's that much plastic, which is totally unnecessary. It doesn't add anything, really. It could just be like that in robot mode. It could just be that much extra flap on his arm, but they've made it a whole extra piece. It interferes with the vehicle mode. Like, it makes the roof all sort of floppy and imperfect. It makes this nice big crevasse down the middle of it, and there's just no need. I don't understand why they've done that, other than like an obligate parts count to satisfy the criteria to be a prestige item. Like, piss off. Just make it fun. So he's a bit of a drag in that respect, so I couldn't put him any higher than 10. But it is still a lovely, good-looking robot. It's enormous and makes me incredibly happy. Looks great on its own. I'm not doing the combiner. I am not asked about riding. Like, can you imagine how big that's gonna be? A robot whose arm is this tall. It's gonna be Titan-sized, and I'm not asked. So yes, Moon Studios Green Zone, number 10, very successful robot mode, hits me right here, and everything else kind of blows. At number 9, a very unlikely and unexpected entry with Legacy Alpha Trion. So Alpha Trion is a character I'm just not asked about. I know he's important to the lore, but I don't care. And this was not a figure that I intended on getting at all. But after we did Hasbro PulseCon this summer, I don't want to flex, but they did send me some free gear. And this was in that. and I kind of love it. Like, the head sculpt is fantastic. He's got glasses and a beard. The colors are great. Gorgeous magenta and deep purple and creamy white. It's got the old fluoro dairy roundy shoulders and chest plates and whatever. It's brilliant. I'm a sucker for a basic purple rifle as well. It's a really, really nice toy, and it's kind of as simple as that. I also did want to mention Legacy Cyclonus in this sort of related sphere. But I picked this up on my birthday in Liverpool. That was a really nice day. It's a gorgeous toy in colors that I prefer to the original. But we've kind of talked Cyclonus to death. We've done him, right? So as this is a repaint of Studio Scourge, I kind of wanted to mention that this mold is not as good as Cyclonus, but few things are, but it is a nice one, and decked out in this vibe as Alpha Trion, I think it really works. Further shout outs to Orion Pax as well. Never liked the design, always thought the head was dumb, don't like the name. Orion Pax is like nothing to me. He doesn't matter. Again, this is a really nice toy. It's a really good reuse of Studio Cup, who I actually got rid of this year in favor of Legends Cup. So it's nice to have an excuse to still own the mold. And there's something about this that's just very action figure to me. I may have mentioned this on a live stream, but I simply have to highlight how good this feels. Because the red is so lovely and vibrant, and with the roundy shoulders and the articulation, it just feels very 80s action figure of a bloke. It just says visionaries to me somehow. So this is a really surprisingly cool 2-pack. Alpha Trion wins the day, and it also comes with this weird little disco golf bauble, and I simply don't know what you want me to do with that. Alpha Trion number 9. Does that work? Shocker, number 8 is another Legacy toy. It's friggin' Jhiaxus! Ah, this guy kicks ass, man. He's so good. Not a lot to explain about this one. This is just a really badass action figure. Like, he just has such a singular, specific vibe, this guy. Being like the first fully realized representation of a character from the 90s. Like, there wasn't an original Jhiaxus to work off of. They had to sort of invent this from the ground up, just from some comic panels. And I think it's one of the more successful toys in Legacy, because it had nothing to live up to. Like, there were some paltry repaints in the past, but they were all a bit sort of wide of the mark or a bit shit or whatever. So this being the first proper figure of Jhiaxus is, first of all, notable, and secondly, impressive just for how freaking good it is. Like, the transformation, I don't know if I could be able to pull it off right now, but it's really unusual and interesting. Oh, that's right, his whole back and front sort of explode out and fold away. Yeah, and this little shoulder thing as well. Bonus points for that. 2 guns for some reason. Brilliant. Graspy hands on a Voyager. We are living well. And like, Jhiaxus is a whole other side of G2 that I haven't really covered, because there's the G1 but wacky side, isn't there? Which is just Jazz, but he's pink now. God, how does this work? There we go, there we go. God, that's so good. Ah! Yeah, there's Wacky G1, there's gimmick bait, toy only guys with no depth and full wackiness. The auto rollers, basically. And then there's Jhiaxus, which is the fiction first side of things. And it's really nice to see a fully realized version of this friggin' maniac. No compromises, no cut corners. What is that? It's so dumb, I love it. Just the wackiest space nothing that kind of works as a plane or a rocket ship. Sure. You know, one of them. Much as Cyclonus just turns into a Cyclonus, Jhiaxus is just a Jhiaxus. Like, it's so unusual. A slab of the G2 fiction that never really had a chance in the toy aisles, finally making it happen, and that is just one of the many things we love about Legacy, right? And like, it feels so baggageless. It doesn't feel like part of a set. You can put it with some other G2 guys if you want, but you don't need to. Like, it doesn't come with a built-in obligation to buy 3 more toys. It's just him, on his own, being an ugly, evil bastard man. It just feels like a clean break, you know? So number 8, Transformers Legacy, Voyager class Jhiaxus. Pure bollocks, absolute smasher, totally here for it. At number 7, Legacy Velocitron Clampdown. So yes, Legacy has not been without its repaint shenanigans. It's not a surprise. It's just part of the game, right? Like with the Velocitron Speedier thing, I think there were only 2 guys that weren't repaints. But Clampdown is actually extremely good. This is a repaint that I didn't feel weird about buying, because I did actually go surprisingly hard on the Siege version. Like, I didn't love it. It was just available. Sideswipe, I got Red Alert, Deep Cover, the black one, and gigawatt is a pretty heavy retool, but I think it still counts. And this is the other version of it. This was the Kingdom Red Alert, which turns into a more sort of Earth mode car rather than a spacey one. Because I was reluctant to go in on another Sideswipe or another Red Alert. But because Clampdown is technically a different guy, I felt okay about buying it. It's basically the same. It just has a little bit of a more grounded, relatable vibe, but it is really good. It's very clean. Oh, look at that. Brilliant. Gorgeous, speedy cop vibe. Very Diaclone-esque as well, which is something I appreciate more and more these days. The sort of pre-Transformers, there's loads of them. You know, DK2 Guard, Lift Ticket, they're all over the shop. Clampdown is definitely of that stratum. And you know, I do love me a police-themed bot. I'm a bit of a sucker for that. And I have to throw in Generation Select Cordon, because it's much the same thing with Sunstreaker, but this Sideswipe for me is a better toy. Cordon and Clampdown just go together extremely well indeed. Sideswipe and Sunstreaker, the Lambo bros, they're kind of part of the Autobot bedrock of Transformers, and they just look really nice as cops. I don't know what to tell you. Nice, clean, black and white, gorgeous police pals. So both of these, especially Clampdown, because he's the better figure. Even though it's a repaint, I'm able to enjoy this without feeling like I got. And also I bought it while I was out toy hunting with some friends, and we had a really nice day. We bought toys and went and got McDonald's. It was brill. What else do you want? It's just a nice toy, and it's associated with a good day. The end. Legacy Clampdown, keeping it real at number 7. Leader class, Laser Optimus Prime. God, what a toy this is. It's so good, man. This is one that I had sort of moderate expectations for, because, you know, we're a bit done with Optimus Primes recently. We are absolutely spoiled. Earthrise, Siege, Studio Series, Bumblebee. There's been a lot of really good Voyager-ish Optimus Primes in the last couple of years. But this really is something else, man. So this is a latter-day leader class figure, which means it's not that big, it's Voyager-ish size, but it's really well made, and it comes with loads of fun extras. You got a whole tanker trailer that turns into a battle platform, as is traditional with Laser Prime. Bunch of weapons. I don't love this thing. I think it's supposed to be an axe, but it looks daft. Looks like a badminton racket or something. But the sword's great. He has got a gun somewhere. There it is, inlaid in the trailer. There is a gun in play. The transformation on this thing is stunning. There's a certain way you kind of expect it to work, and it just doesn't do that. The titty windows are a total cheat. That's fine. And there's all this with the sides and the arms sort of collapse into and around each other. It is fascinating. It's quite an experience, which I would easily recommend to any fan of Transformers. Or as a gateway toy. Like, that's the thing with so many of the bots in Legacy. Even if you don't know who they are or the history of them, they're just good on their own. Anybody would love this. I was actually very heartened to visit Smith's recently in the post-Crimbo wasteland before they'd stocked up, and there was very little Legacy left, so they must be selling all right. Gonna be a lot of new fans out there. Absolutely love to see it. Oh, this thing's great. I did get Scourge as well, but it was on like the 4th of January, so I can't really count it. Oh god, look at that. So good. So hefty. Such a lot of toy. Like the trailer, does it need more going on the sides? Yes, please. Does it need a couple more action features? Maybe. But I feel like it does enough. There's plenty of toy going on here. This is a good feed up of satisfying Transformery action. I feel like I should give a bit of a shout out to the other leader class toys too. Blitzwing, it didn't get there for me. It looks nice. I appreciate what it's doing, but it just wasn't as much fun. Galaxy Shuttle as well. Quick shout out to him. Very satisfying leader class package, but it didn't quite scrape top 10 material for me because it's kind of an old mold. Astro Train was 2019, I want to say. There were no surprises here, but it does look very nice. Goes great with Victory Saber, but being in this video doesn't mean he's on the list, I'm afraid. Plenty of time for Laser Prime. There we go. There's gotta be something we can do with that, right? Truckosaurus mode. Legacy stacks. Done. Right, and that brings us about halfway, so why don't we have a cheeky break, pop some tunes on, and I'll catch you back here in a minute, yeah? Turn it up, baby.
Yeah. Schneid es ab.
Are you listening to your heart?
Tell me there's another. Leave me. Almost dead, cause pictures of it all. Did you see you move? Kill your cats,
repping the Stunticons, or rather introducing the Stunticons, it's Legacy Dragstrip. Oh god, what a lovely sunny thing this is. Beautiful margarine race car, lad. Absolutely delicious. So you may know that Dragstrip's kind of a huge deal for me. The G1 toy was the first Transformer I ever had to call my own. Always loved the harsh black and purple juxtaposed on this soft sunny yellow. And this toy is, in all respects, a pure banger. Robot mode's gorgeous, transformations super complicated and fun. Shoulders go crazy, the head becomes a chair. And like Dragstrip's toys are always very memorable to me somehow. Like I love the Mirage repaint. Had a great time with the Combiner Wars one. I have a very treasured memory of going to buy Dragstrip and the rest of Superion at Smith's during the post-Crimbo lull in, I think, 2014. I got paid on a Sunday. It was really unusual. So I had to walk up to Smith's under blue skies with soft, crunchy snow on the ground, bagged Dragstrip, most of the aerial bots, a bottle of whiskey, and Godzilla on DVD. Amazing. But that was years and years ago. This is the now, and this is simply the best toy that Dragstrip has ever had. Just a beautiful three-wheeled race car thing. I'm sure there's a dozen folks out there saying, oh, it's the Pimbity Bim Bim 3300. I don't care, it's Dragstrip. So yeah, Dragstrip is a dynamite bad bitch, and I've actually really been enjoying the Stunticons so far. I grabbed Wild Rider the other day. He's so good in vehicle mode. It's unusual for me to care about car modes that much, but these are great. Friggin' Dead End, again, just gorgeous. Funny featureless legs, but the car mode's great, and he definitely does the trick. Motor Master, let's bring this line in. God. What a beast. Just a fantastic toy. This is so clever. Truck mode's incredible. The transformation really is wild. I love that he's got like little Q Transformers versions of himself for his own feet. Don't know if I'm loving the cartoon aesthetic. It always hits me a little weird. The white arms and the flat, boring torso. And while these guys are great as the Stunticons, I'm just not interested in their Menasor at all. Like, I haven't even bothered transforming it, because you can do Motormaster on his own, bring in the trailer, disassemble it, and make it into like the skeleton of Menasor, but I'm just not arsed. Maybe I'll feel different when Breakdown arrives, but for now, these are perfectly satisfying as just the Stunticons. And for me, the figurehead is, and has always been, Dragstrip. So it's all him, baby. Number 5, Legacy Dragstrip. At 4, as if there was any doubt this thing was gonna show up. Oh baby, it's Victory Saber from Haslab. This, for me, really sort of defined the end of the year for 2022, because it's such a triumph, honestly. I was a little bit sore on Haslab because of Unicron, because of how disappointed and sort of injured I felt by Unicron. Is that the right word? I don't know, it damaged something in me, because it's too big. We've been here before. It's too big, it's too much. So I was a little down on Haslab. But then, like, full transparency, Hasbro gave me one. We know this, I told you at the time, but they just kind of emailed me, they're like, we've got a few going spare, can we send you on so that you can promote Deathsaurus? I'm like, yes please. Love being involved. That's part of it. I'm just so psyched to be on the call list for Hasbro now. It's so exciting. Like, it's not something I was aiming for. It's not like, oh, it's what I've always wanted. But isn't it though? Isn't it the dream of every niche interest YouTuber to sort of get inside the machine and be a part of it? Because I forgot to mention it during the Victory Saber video, but I unveiled Deathsaurus. I introed it during the reveal stream, and I talked about it with BMAC, like in front of all the Hasbro fans. I was there, man. I did that! Anyway, Victory Saber's really good. It's just such a good playset. There's so much going on. 2 quite different robots with a similar vibe that can form like 5 or 6 modes between them. 2 different spaceships, 1 combined spaceship, 1 combined robot. Accessories and blast effects and bits and bobs and hiding places. There's apparently a slot for the sword. So, oh yeah, there it is. You can just pop the blade down his leg like that. Amazing. I didn't know about that. Pop it down your trousers. So I had to put this in the top 5. It is such a good experience. A lot of money, but I feel like you get bang for your buck. There's so much to do. It's so playable. It looks awesome. And that, for me, puts it leagues above Unicron. It's not as big. It's not as much of a collection centerpiece, conversation starter, elephant in the room as that thing is. And thank God. Just beautiful. Gives me everything I wanted. It's possibly the ultimate anime robot. The acceptable face of anime robot. Just spectacular. It's in every sense, a victory. Hell yeah! So number 3, I've decided to dedicate as the TF Nation slot, and rather than focusing on one particular robot, I have 2. First of all, we have Senator Ratbat. I was given this by the lovely Andy at TF Nation. Love that guy. Love all you guys. Probably the best weekend of the year, honestly. I mean, it's been a packed year. I've done all kinds of stuff. I went to Edinburgh, went to America, but TF Nation was just such bliss. Catching up with everybody after a couple of years, spending time with people who are important to me as like collector peers, but also as human beings and as very dear friends. Introducing Charlie to everybody and having the best blast of all time. So Ratbat is a symbol of that and also happens to be a stunner of a toy. God, he's so pretty. I can't believe it. Just purple and gold and black and clever. And as we know, it's the Generation Scourge mold, but reimagined as Megatron Origins era Ratbat, when he was a senator before they sort of overthrew him and trapped his brain in the body of a shitty cassette monster. This is Ratbat as a full guy. It's beautiful. I adore it, and it means quite a lot to me. Similarly, while we're on TF Nation, I gotta throw in Freeway. This was my most satisfying vintage find of the year. Just a silly little Throttlebot guy with motorized wheels, super simplistic little bouncy blue car with a daft sort of facade of a robot mode that works the same and basically looks the same as 5 other guys from the same set. They're just delightful. The Throttlebots are the ultimate fiddly, gimmicky desk toy, right? 2 or 3 transformation stages, they're fun to scoot around, and they look really cute. So this for me was my favorite TF Nation purchase. Tied for number 3 in the TF Nation spot, Senator Ratbat, thank you Andy, and G1 Freeway. Simply a daft little blue guy who looks like he's made out of a bar of soap, painted sky blue, straight into my heart. Now then, to preface number 2, I would like, if I may, to show you some holiday snaps. So as I hinted at, 2022 was a big year for getting out and doing stuff. I was kind of making up for lost time after COVID, I suppose, like seeing friends, going to gigs, just doing every activity I possibly could that didn't involve sitting on the sofa. And I did also happen to find myself in California. Like, I wasn't just off on me jollies, I'm not that rich, not yet. And I couldn't really talk about it publicly at the time, but I did have some business that required me to go to Los Angeles for a week. So I tried to make a trip of it. I went to Griffith Park, I saw the observatory, took a selfie with the Hollywood sign. I went to a Walmart, which was mad. It's just Asda. I don't know what the big deal is. And I also found my way to quite a big geeky store called Blast from the Past in Burbank, which I'd happened to hear through a couple of social posts from sort of TF people. TJ Omega mentioned it, and Kean Carlisle, that particular spot was where a lot of Derek Wyatt's collection ended up. He, of course, sadly passed away a year and a bit ago. Just a huge loss, obviously, to his family and friends, but also to the animation world, the Transformer world. We lost a hero. So while I was in the area, I couldn't miss the opportunity to drop in and see what it was all about. And it was quite a thing to witness, all sort of meticulously displayed and catalogued, everything sort of designated and marked out as part of Derek's collection. There was some truly wild stuff on the go, stuff I'd never seen in person. So while I was there, I picked up a boxed Generations Windblade, there we are, from the collection of Derek J. Wyatt. It's official, fully, ratified, and this was his. But this is not top 10 fodder, is it? This is a bit of a naff toy, but it's in package, all sealed. We keep this one pristine as a keepsake. That's why I bought this. Also, it was 20 bucks. Instead, at actual number 2, this is Derek J. Wyatt's Transformers animated Jackpot. And I don't really know how I feel about it. Like, this is obviously a cool toy in the first place. It's the animated Jazz mold, recolored in Action Mastery style. And it does feel kind of cool to own this. It's Transformers animated. That was Derek Wyatt's whole thing. He created the aesthetic, he was art director, he kept putting stuff out for it long after the show finished, as we covered in the Bluster and Trench video. He was always tweeting designs he was working on, and I'm glad that I took the opportunity to buy this and own it as a sort of piece of that history. But I don't know if it's a bit morbid. It's a guy who passed away. I didn't know him personally, so I don't know if it's a little bit creepy that I and others in the community are sort of buying up his collection piecemeal from some other guys who sort of inherited it. I don't know. I don't know if it's a little weird. But speaking purely for myself, from where I'm coming from, it's nothing but love and respect and admiration, and just the happenstance that I happened to be in that spot while his collection was there through completely unrelated situations and circumstances. I couldn't possibly miss that opportunity to own a little bit of that history. Like, what providence, what serendipity that I happened to end up in the vicinity of such an important piece of Transformers history, 5,000 miles from home, while Derek Wyatt's collection was there, because I happened to see Kian Carlisle tweet about it. I couldn't not do it, you know? I had to. It was just so galactically unlikely, and it's not lost on me that it's an enormous privilege to own a Transformers animated toy from the collection of the man who created it. And it's also a pretty good toy. Whew, that was quite a yarn. Anyway, number 1 is Transmetal Megatron. Oh, he's just good, man. He's just good. You saw how happy I was unboxing this thing. Am I really putting this above Derek J. Wyatt's animated Jackpot? Yes. Yes, I am. He's brilliant. Just a gigantic pink and purple dragon bitch. Pure, undiluted fun factor. Regretlessly fabulous. With enormous wings, if you like. Big flamey mallet. The most fun I've had with a Transformer all year. There it is. That's what it is. There's just nothing like it. For pure enjoyment, standalone impact, Transmetal 2 Leader Class Megatron made by year. Because like Dragonformers as a genre of robot, they're pretty rare, right? Good Dragonformers are almost unheard of. Sorry, Ripclaw. You know it's true. Looks great, feels great, fully pleases me in a visual and haptic sense, and it fulfills my criteria as an enjoyer of things that are fun. It's just a really, really good Transformer. I don't know what to tell you. That's where I'm at. That's all it is. Absolute banger and a totally out of left field surprise. Straight in at number 1, Transmetal 2 Legacy Megatron. And that just about wraps it up. So cheers for watching. Really hope you enjoyed my predictable picks and mediocre anecdotes. I shall be back very soon with more good stuff for you, hoping to salvage the Christmas review for a late January one, and I cannot wait to see what awaits us in 2023. So may I gently suggest that we flipping go, and may I insist that you stay sexy. Peace! Cheers for watching, everybody. Thank you so much for supporting me and sticking with me. It's rough out there, and I appreciate that you still support me, even in spite of everything going on in the surrounding world. So cheers to all the patrons, and especially this time, Davro Elnew. Much appreciated, buddy. Keep it real out there, and I shall check you later.
Be sure to subscribe for more Thew's Awesome Transformers reviews. Limited appeal, keeping it real.